So, one of the greatest gifts of being a highly sensitive person is that you notice things that most people miss. You notice emotional shifts, you notice tension, you notice subtle changes in people's behavior and what they need typically, right? And also, you notice what is not being said. And when you're healthy and grounded, this sensitivity can actually be a superpower of yours. But there's also another side that often doesn't get spoken about enough, and that's the hidden cost of your sensitivity. Because many highly sensitive people spend so much time paying attention to everyone else that they often lose connection with themselves. So they become experts at reading a room and understanding people, anticipating the needs of others, but they struggle to answer a simple question: what do I need? Many highly sensitive people learned early in life that paying attention to your environment was a survival strategy. So maybe you grew up in an unpredictable environment. Maybe you learned to monitor people's moods, and that way you could avoid conflict, or even probably worse, you became the caretaker and peacemaker, the responsible one. And this was and still is most likely at your expense. So over time, your attention became always focused on monitoring the world around you, that hypervigilance, right? And you became highly skilled at managing other people. The problem is that constantly focusing on other people can create complete burnout because you become responsible for everyone else's feelings, everyone's comfort, happiness, their emotional state, and eventually that just becomes unsustainable, right? So one of the biggest lessons highly sensitive people need to learn is that empathy is not the same thing as responsibility, right? You can care about someone without carrying them. You can understand someone without rescuing them, or love someone without abandoning yourself. And this distinction is really important because another challenge that highly sensitive people face is overstimulation, right? The modern world is incredibly noisy. There's notifications on your phone, there's social media, there's news, there's messages, emails, endless information. So highly sensitive nervous systems often absorb much more than people are actually consciously aware of. This is why many highly sensitive people need a lot of recovery time. They need more quiet, more nature, more space. Not because something's wrong with them, but because their nervous system processes information differently. One thing that I notice is that highly sensitive people judge themselves really harshly for this. They compare themselves to people who seem to be able to go just nonstop through life. And they think, why can't I do that? And simply put, you're just not built the same way. And that's okay. The goal isn't to become less sensitive. The goal is to become more skilled at managing your sensitivity and being proactive. Because sensitivity is not a weakness. Sensitivity is information, right? The challenge is learning how to work with it instead of fighting it all day. So when highly sensitive people learn healthy boundaries, self-trust, emotional regulation, self-care, their sensitivity becomes a huge asset, right? They become intuitive, compassionate, insightful, creative, very connected with themselves and others. But that only happens when they stop treating their sensitivity as a problem to fix. Because the truth is that your sensitivity may be one of your greatest strengths. The question is whether or not you're using it consciously, or whether it's using you. If this resonated with you, let me know below in the comments. What's been the biggest challenge of being a highly sensitive person? And if you'd like more content on emotional healing, intuition, attachment patterns, personal growth, please subscribe below. See you on the other side.